What is up, everyone? So, we've got the BAM box here. And I gotta say, I wasn't too thrilled with last month's box, but I don't think anyone else was either. You know, sometimes they just have an off month. But hopefully this month is much better. Because I've always really liked this company. They do good stuff, so I'm always happy to see what they have. Alright. Whoops. Alright. Got some paper. And then it looks like this month's theme, Indestructible. What that means, I have no idea. Alright, first, we got a pin, and it looks like Hulk. And it looks like kind of a stained glass version of Hulk, almost. Just kind of got like a lot of like triangles and shapes there. Yeah, it kind of looks like a mosaic type of thing. Whatever. They always do good pins. Works for me. Then, we got a 3D model of the hidden blade from Assassin's Creed. So that's pretty interesting. That looks pretty cool. Alright, yeah, I'll have to take that out and build it. It's nice. It's actually made of wood. It looks really cool. The picture on there looks really nice. I'm not sure what you would do with that, per se. I wonder if you can put it on display, so we'll have to see about that. And I see your certificate of authenticity, and it looks like we got Vampirella. Vampirella? Yeah, something like that. Alright, it looks like it is signed here. Right there. It's hard to tell what the signature is. Let's read on the back, see what we got. Let's see. Anthony Marquis. And yeah, that looks like the person who did the cover. So that's cool. Got the cover artist to sign the cover. That works. That ups the value a little bit. Cool. Then, looks like we got a signed art print. And it looks like Wolverine and X-23 as cats. Why they're as cats? I don't know. That's really weird. I really liked that movie. It was really good. But why they would both be cats, I have no idea. It would make sense that they were Wolverines or something like that, but there's two cats that look like the characters from the movie. Very weird. Extremely weird, but okay. Alright, there we go. Got some cats. And the last item. Well, that was quick. And it looks like Bionic Woman. Nice signature. That's cool. I think everyone recognizes her. I don't think she's, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think she's still around to this day. That's awesome. Alright. Quick and simple. So that's more like what I like to see from the BAM box. We got a signature from a well-known actress, and she's not that famous to this day, and I just realized I said she's not around to this day. That doesn't make sense if she signed that. That was a stupid thing to say. But that seems like pretty cool, like what they'd have. And I'm glad they did much better on the art print, because last month they did posters, and those weren't good. I really didn't like those at all. They were bad in quality, and I don't like posters in general. I think sticking to this size for art prints is good, better quality paper, and it's hand-signed and numbered. Oh, and I got a really low number. This one's only a 500, and I got number 10 out of 500. So it also looks like they're going with lower runs of each one. So I think it's safe to assume there are different variants of each one of those, because normally they have a much higher run, like in the thousands. So that's really cool. The 3D model seems okay, and the comic had a signature too. So that's what I like to see from the BAM box. You know, they don't have the most famous people all the time, but it's still really cool to see stuff like that. So we're going to keep this short and simple. We'll take a short little break, and then I'll talk, get some values on these items. Then we'll come back, talk about the value, and give this box a rating. See you soon. Alright, we are back. Let's talk about some value on these items. So the pin. I was right, it was supposed to look like kind of stained glass mosaic. As always, there's options of more pins. So there are 4 different options in there. You could have got Superman, Hulk, or Chuck Norris. And apparently, from what I've seen, if you get the 250, the rare ones, you actually get both of them. That's what I got last box. I got the alternate ones, and what I was seeing for listings, people always had both. So I'm guessing when you get that, you get 2 pins, which is cool. That's really awesome. But it seems weird. If they had a limited run of each of those, it seems like they'd split them up, but I guess they pair them together. So obviously it always depends on which pin you get and which character you get. The rare ones are more expensive, but this pin is roughly going to be around $10. And this box is getting reviewed very early, by the way, so some of these values, by the time this video actually gets edited and posted, will probably have dropped at least a couple dollars. So these are all high values because I didn't see too many listings and not a lot of information out there, which typically means I'm one of the first people to get the box, and therefore it's reviewed awfully early. So these might be pretty high values as of today. But the pin will probably stay around $10, maybe drop $1 or $2, because pins always end up being around that price if they're good quality and they're recognizable characters. So I think it'll stay around that $10 range. I think it'll be fine. Then, our comic. signed by the cover artist, which is really cool. And it's always nice that they put a COA on the back. This one's going for like 10 to 12, and that'll probably end up being closer to the $10 range, maybe $1 or $2 less, because Vampirella is a well-known character, but not super popular, and the cover artist, although he did a good job, again, not super well-known, so both of them are known, and both of them are recognizable, but neither of them are extremely popular, so I can't imagine it going up in value really ever, and that's why it's not going for that much, just because it's not that recognizable, but it's going to go around that $10 to $12 range, and it'll probably drop off a little bit, but not too much. Next, our 3D model kit. So there was an option of 2 of these. You either got Assassin's Creed or Civil War Captain America's shield. So I'm actually glad I got the Assassin's Creed one, because the shield looks kind of boring. It's just literally a circle. But the Assassin's Creed one actually has like movable parts, so I'm glad I got this one. And I think it'll be really cool to build it, so I'm excited to do that. But these actually go for a decent amount. Either one goes for around $15, which isn't that surprising, because it is actually made of wood. I've seen other 3D model kits, and a lot of the times they're made of like cheap cardboard or something like that, but these are actually made of decent wood. So it actually has a picture of what it looks like painted, which looks really badass. So yeah, these go for a decent amount, and those go for around 15 bucks. Now, what's next? Oh, our print. So there was only one print that was given this month, but there was variations of it, which is surprising. Usually they give a couple. So it was both of them, and one of them has the X-Men logo on the background, and that's the only difference. And that's the one I got, so that's limited to 500, so that's why I got that. That's why it's a lower run, and I actually got a really low number, which is cool. But it doesn't increase the value very much. So the regular print is what I'm going to value it at, and that's only going for like $15. And that's for the same reason as the comic. The artist just isn't that well known, and like I was saying, the print is kind of weird. It's funny. It's funny to have cats as things. It's really popular to do right now, but it doesn't really make like a good piece of artwork. So I can't imagine a lot of people wanting to buy this. So it's only at $15, and that price is probably going to drop a few dollars over time as well. Because like I said, I think a lot of people are going to try to sell it, and I don't think a lot of people are going to try to buy it. And since I got the rare one, it ups the value a few dollars, but really not that much, because there's not that much of a difference. It's a very minor difference in the background, and at first glance, you honestly can't really tell the difference. It's still cool to get a limited run print, that's awesome, and it's always signed by the artist, which is really cool. But yeah, it doesn't up the value too much. So the value on the regular one is going to be around $15, and we'll see what it drops down to and how popular it is. Last, our signature by, what is it, Lindsay, what's her name? Lindsay Wagner. So this is the Bionic Woman. This is actually pretty collectible. This is a very popular show. Not so much with our generation, like usually probably our parents would know it a lot better, or the generation before us. But these kinds of things are very collectible, like Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, and there was one other show at the time that was on in the 70s that had a lot of collectibles that are very collectible, and a lot of people still look for this stuff. And usually her signature goes for a decent amount, but since it's in the BAM box, there are a lot of them out there, so it drops the price a lot, but it's still very collectible because she is very well known. But the signature is going to go for about $20 to $25. And that may drop a little bit, but not too much, because like I said, she's well known for that show, and a lot of people would like to collect this, so it's pretty cool. I like it. I definitely recognize it. I'll be keeping that one. But $20 to $25 is what we'll get as far as the value on that. So that brings our total value on the low end of 70 and on the high end of 77. So you got right around, you got more than double your value, but keep in mind these prices will drop. But like I said, for most of these, I don't think they'll drop a lot. I think they'll each drop a couple dollars, but I can't see any of them like skyrocketing down a tremendous amount. These values I think should be pretty close to the final value, but they will be a little bit lower over time because like I said, I got this box pretty early. So that being said, I think you'll still get pretty much double your value, maybe a little bit less than that, but pretty close to, which I think is cool. And I always love getting signatures. I've always loved getting them from the BAM box. Those are one of the few items I keep from boxes. Most items in boxes I don't keep. It's usually just crap and I end up selling it or giving it away. But the signatures I like because I think those are timeless. Those are something that are always going to be recognized, and I put them in a nice frame and put them up. The art prints, not always, sometimes, but this one not so much. I may try to sell this one because I got one of the rare ones, but we'll see. But I like that we got signatures on everything. Even though this wasn't my favorite art print, at least it's still legit. At least it's an actual print with a limited run and it's signed by the artist, so even if it was terrible art, which is not horrible, it's still cool that it's a legit piece of artwork and it does have a limited run, so it does give it value. So whether you liked it or not, it is still really cool to have, and same with the comic. Even if you don't like Vampirella, it's still cool to have like a signed copy of a comic to hold on to with the artist's signature. And yeah, I pretty much liked everything in the box, and I think most people will too. Whether you recognize all the characters and artists and comic book artists in here is kind of up to the individual, because they're not the most popular names, but I think they're all respectable. So that all being said, I think overall it was a good box, and I like that they give like one-of-a-kind signatures and things like that, so I think that's awesome. That being said, I'm going to give this box a 6.5 out of 10. I think it'll be enjoyable for all. If not, I don't think anyone would have too much of a problem selling off some of these things if you didn't like it. So that's the good news, and that's something I always look for, because it's hard for me to judge whether everyone's going to like every item in the box. So that's why I always give resale value, because if you don't like one thing, which is very likely, you can at least get some of your money back, and I think all these have a pretty easy resale value. So that's why it gets a little bit of higher score. But as always, let me know what you guys thought. How recognizable are these characters? What did you like about that? Did you think the artwork is really weird? Is there anyone that likes it? Is there anyone that wants to buy the nice print? Let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments, and we'll figure it out from there. Other than that, this has been the BAM Box, 6.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Peace.